Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment clip. You know, from time to time, I talk about the two teams that I follow. Today's victory down in North Carolina, the Washington Redskins over the Carolina Panthers. What was it, 29-21? Wow. I tell you what, for those that check in on the channel, you know, often or whatever, I told you that I went to my first Michigan and Ohio State game yesterday up in Ann Arbor. What a miserable experience in its totality. Started off beautiful, you know, checking out the stadium and everything. But anyway, man, to take that butt whipping yesterday and to come in and see the Redskins respond, you know, on the road late in the season. You know, two guys, AP just 2 yards short of 100 yards. The team rallying, the offensive line showing some life and getting it done. You know, this is what I said a few weeks ago, that Haskins will only be able to win. He'll only be able to go as far as the team takes him right now. And Geis had to be a major part, a big time story in the NFL. There's not much talk on the Redskins outside of us, you know, in the HTTR nation. But for Geis to come in and get the big plays, get the burst late with the younger legs, to see AP running the ball and having moments at the right time in games, just phenomenal, man. The defense playing, and to that last touchdown that they gave away, you know, in my opinion, how many times have the Redskins been playing late with the lead? To be honest, you know, I think that's one thing that they encountered and kind of shot themselves in the foot in that regard. But yeah, the defense. I mean, the D-line getting after it. I didn't even know who this Orchard dude is, but I guess he came in. They activated him or something, in with Kerrigan being out with the concussion. But phenomenal outing, man. I don't have any stats. That's what happens when you got to watch the game on a stream, you know, in a forum and whatnot. But like I said, I'm in Dayton, Ohio, still supporting my team, and it was just great, man, to see, you know, the coaching staff pull it together, Callahan pull it together, and for the guys to still be fighting. Like I said, I don't believe in losing games, especially in the NFL. There's no need to tank over Chase Young. You know, I saw Chase Young yesterday. He didn't even have any impact on that game in a blowout situation. But I understand people want to think ahead. Fans want to think ahead. Do this, do that, get that. You know, one of the first things is the coaching situation and the front office situation have to be settled. And then one of the key components is execution and commitment on the field, competing on the field. And I think that's what we saw today. And you know, to get off of here quickly, you know, it might not have looked that great a couple of weeks ago with Dwayne Haskins pleading with those guys on the bench. I heard different heard different interpretations of what that moment was and how it was or wasn't good leadership, etc., etc. But I think it might have sown some seeds to what we see in that unit playing inspired ball again for a minute. And you know, the guys, I'm seeing Haskins apologists and you know, people that shots at people who are supporting Haskins. And you know what? I would honestly be supporting Case Keenum if he was out there, because I don't think it was Case Keenum's fault when you know, when things went wrong with him under center. But what happens with teams when you have a bad team, when you are sub 500, ticket sales start dwindling, etc., etc., etc. Coaching staff has changed. It just gets to a point in the season where, you know, the starter has to be replaced. It has to be his fault too. But this case, you know, injury did contribute to needing to go with Haskins earlier than you know, was hoped for. But like I said, man, the kid is standing in there. That play that he made, the 3rd and 15, I think, jumping up in the air, throwing that ball. It was a couple other plays here and there. The kid is fighting. I don't care if you don't like him or not. If you think he's inaccurate, you think his mechanics are poor, for you to sit there and say that he can't read defenses. He's not doing much of anything that no other starting quarterback is doing, or he's not struggling with anything more than any other quarterback in the league is pretty much struggling with. I mean, Daniel Jones threw 3 interceptions today. I think that's one thing, and maybe it's to a fault where I think Haskins only has the 1 pick, you know, in his 3 starts now, or is it 4 starts? Whatever. And I think maybe he's trying to protect the ball a little bit too much, to a degree. Lastly, man, it shows that's been troubling us the past several years, is scoring touchdowns and throwing the ball into the end zone. It just doesn't happen that often. We're almost, you know, we're not scoring from 40 out, 35 out. We're not taking shots at the end zone. And then inside the red zone, once the field gets compacted, it's even worse. But things happened in our favor today. We got the victory. We moved to 3-9. And like I said last week, I said, imagine the talent level that we have, the way the team is constructed, the coaching staff situation, the front office situation, our drafting record, our injury history the last 2 or 3 years. And look at us with just 3 less wins than Dallas. So it's hard to win in this league. I could just really leave it at that. If you don't understand it, it's hard to score touchdowns. It's hard to win in this league. And they're gradually doing those things. And no, you know, the kid Haskins isn't exactly, you know, the exact reason why they're winning, but collectively they're getting it done, and I'll take that. So like, and I said earlier, man, for us to do something this year, it would be hard running from Geis. He would have to become a story in the league, one of the promising young running backs, and then the defense would have to be stout, and, you know, to hold a team to another thing we weren't used to was that onside kick situation. I believe up until the games that we saw, the Thanksgiving Day game, I want to say there hadn't been many successful onside kicks the last 2 or 3 years. And for a couple to happen, you know, right together like this in this cluster is interesting. But again, we weren't used to that situation either with the team, you know, with having a lead and having to be prepared for an onside kick. So a little short-sightedness right there, but again, man, 3-9, HTTR. Pay me no mind if you don't like what I'm talking about. Give me a follow or a subscription if you do. But hey, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's weird a day later rooting for a Buckeye in Haskins, but great job, bro.